Okay, let's get started. We've got a lot to talk about, so we'll get going. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Scott Carter. I'm the Executive Vice President for SABR, and we are thrilled that you are here tonight. One, that you've recently joined SABR. Two, that you've made time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight to go over this new member training orientation, however you want to put it, but we're going to go over some tips and tricks to make the most out of your SABR membership. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my fantastic colleague, Jessica Smith, to get us going.
Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us. We are going to start off with some introductions because one of the biggest parts of your SABR membership is meeting other SABR members and making connections and growing your network among fellow baseball fans. So to start off, if you could, whenever I call on you, and I'm going to assume that you want to talk because your video camera is on, say your name, where you're from, and then your favorite MLB team if you have one. For my folks who don't have their cameras on or can't turn them on and you want to introduce yourself, just let me know in the chat or drop something in the chat, and make sure we'll get to you before we move on. So I'll go ahead and start as an example. Again, my name is Jessica Smith. I live just outside Atlanta, and my favorite team are the Braves. So I'm just going to go in order on my computer, make sure there's no other Larrys. Larry, do you want to go first?
I'll assume I'm Larry. My name is Larry DeBoer. I live here in West Lafayette, Indiana, and I'm a long-suffering New York Mets fan.
You're not watching the Purdue game tonight?
Hey, it's baseball season. Super Bowl's over.
Yeah.
It's baseball season.
Nice, okay.
But yeah, Purdue is doing quite well this year.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Jake, do you want to go next?
What's going on, guys? I'm Jake. I am from New York City, and I am a diehard Mets fan. So, you and me, Larry.
Two of them. All right. Thank you, Jake. Ken, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ken Corrado. I'm not a new SABR member. I've been a member since 1992, but I am a SABR staff member. Been on the staff for about a year. I live just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I am a long-suffering Chicago White Sox fan.
Thanks, Ken. If anyone ever needs anything as well besides me and Scott Carter, you can also go to Ken and he'll help you where he can.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Millsaps. I'm from, well, a lot of places, but I live in Kansas City right now, and I'm kind of undecided about a team. I kind of like the Red Sox because I enjoyed a recent visit to Fenway, but I don't think I'm hard and fast on anybody yet.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Bill Nallen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Bill Nowlin. I'm in Cambridge, Massachusetts, about 3.5 miles from Fenway Park. I haven't been there since yesterday, but I did go over yesterday. They hosted 9 senior centers with several seniors. They had a Valentine's Day dance and luncheon, and I just went over to visit. I am a Red Sox fan.
Right. Bill is also very involved with SABR. He's on our board. He does the publication. So if you have any questions, Bill is a great resource to use as well.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that. I have been a member since the last century also, and helped put together a bunch of these books. This is our most recent book, free to all SABR members.
Thanks, Bill. Charlie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Charlie Estabrook. I'm living in Rhode Island right now, and I grew up a Red Sox fan, but I'm more of a freelance baseball fan now. I kind of root for players.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Paul, do you want to go next?
Hey everybody, I'm Paul Jackson. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a big Cubs fan, but I recently wrote about 10,000 words trying to understand Mets fans. So that's kind of my fandom of the moment. Really interesting history.
Thank you, Paul. Zachary, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Zach from Boston, but I'm currently living in Cincinnati. And yeah, so I'm a Red Sox fan as well.
What's up, Red Sox and Mets? Thank you. Mike, do you want to go next?
Hi, my name's Mike. I actually live in the Twin Cities now, so Twins are now my number two, but I moved here after 45 years in Milwaukee, so go Brewers.
Thanks, Mike. Cameron.
Hi, I'm from Houghton, Michigan, and I am a diehard Tigers fan.
Thanks for joining us. Casey, do you want to go next?
Sure. I am from Southern California. I'm at Berkeley right now for college. And my favorite team is the Angels.
Very nice. Thank you. Tony, do you want to go next?
Yes, I'm Tony Atlas. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I'm a Dodgers fan.
Got Carter's got one. All right. Thank you. Abby, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm from Akron, Ohio. And my favorite team is the Guardians.
Thank you. John, do you want to go next? John Furling.
Oh, hi.
So sorry.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm John Furling, and I live near Atlanta. And I grew up a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, and I've stuck with them through thick and thin, mostly thin. So it probably will be again this year, too.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Sarah, do you want to go next?
I am Sarah. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I am a very diehard Blue Jays fan, which did not bring me joy last year. So I'm gonna adopt the Tigers and keep one eye on the Blue Jays this year and see how that goes.
I feel like we don't get multiple Tigers fans. That's great. Thank you. And then Brody, you said you wanted to introduce yourself as well. You're on mute if you are talking. We can't hear you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on then. If you wanna, anyone with their camera off wants to introduce themselves, you guys can put that in the chat. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started with just a little overview of your profile and how to log in and get to access some of those member benefits that we're gonna talk about tonight. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, technical difficulties. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. We're going to start on the homepage, which is SABR.org. If you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend starting here. This is a great place to jump off of. But we're going to start at member login here in the top right. So from here, you'll see it takes us to Members Hub. And for Members Hub, we're going to click on Learn More under Members Home. And then that'll go ahead and take you to your login credentials. So let me go ahead and log in. And if you ever need any help logging into your profile, if you forgot your password or need to reset anything, feel free to reach out to one of us and we can reset that for you. It's pretty quick, quick fix. So now that we're all logged in, you'll see that we are on the members homepage. So like I mentioned, this was a good place to start if you're first checking out the website. There's a lot of answers to frequently asked questions that we get here, a lot of quick links if you're looking for something direct. Or if you just want to mess around, there's a lot of links on this page as well. So if we scroll down, you'll see there's some links to your profile and the directory, which we are going to go over here in a little bit. You'll see some links to research resources, which we'll also go over. And then chapters, which we'll take a look at as well, the events calendar. Pretty much everything we're going to highlight tonight you can find on this page. So we're going to start just by visiting your profile first. So I'm going to click my profile here at the top. All right. So you should be seeing your profile once you do that. If you've uploaded a picture, it'll show up. Any personal information will be here as well. You can edit any of that whenever you signed up. This is the information that you entered. You can do that by clicking the edit button here. But I want to draw your attention to this research interest and expertise field. Even if you're not an expert in any certain topic, we recommend that you go ahead and put something in this field because it's going to help other SABR members find you in a directory keyword search and start building those connections that we talked about before we did introductions. And I can show you an example of that. So you'll see here, Atlanta Braves and Women in Baseball are the ones that I've included on my profile. So I'll go up to the directory. All right, and then you can search by name. You can search by a specific group if you're looking for chapter or research committee in the directory, or you can search by location, whether that's country or state. But you can also do the keyword searches like we just saw on my profile. So I'm going to type in baseball and hit search. So currently SABR has over 7,500 members. This is a really easy way to narrow it down and start talking to other people that you might want to connect with. You'll see here 159 other SABR members have also included that they are interested in women in baseball. So then I can just scroll through to find anybody that I want to contact about that. Yeah, and then if you click on their profile, it'll bring up their information, their contact info if they've listed any, and then you can send them an email or give them a call if you want. And the directory is part of your membership benefits, completely free to use as a SABR member. So we are going to now take a look at groups. So you'll see up here on the top menu. Whenever you joined SABR, you were asked to set a primary group, and usually this is going to be the closest one to you, just so you can attend their in-person events. So you'll see here on the right that my primary group is the Magnolia area, or the Magnolia Atlanta area chapter, and that's because I live near Atlanta. So if I ever want to visit the in-person events, I'll be notified because they are set as my primary group. But as a SABR member, you can join as many groups as you'd like, and we have 3 different kinds. We have chapters, which are geographically centered. We have research committees, which are going to be centered around a certain topic that needs more research, or they're publishing work about that topic, whatever they deem necessary to look into further. And then we also have chartered communities, which are going to be more similar to a chapter where they meet or get together, but instead of geographically meeting, they may meet virtually and discuss a certain topic, but not necessarily do the in-depth research that the research committees are doing. So you can join as many of those as you want with your membership, and I will show you how. So over here on the right, you'll see available groups. These are just some suggestions that populate whenever you're on the groups page, but to view all of them, you'll click view all underneath. And then any available groups that you haven't joined will show up here. So if you're looking for a specific type, you want to do more research, then you can click on research committee. Or if you're looking for just some folks to talk about topics that you're interested in, you can click on charter community. You can filter through. And then once you go through these, find one you think looks interesting, like maybe the baseball cards research committee, you can actually click on the title and it'll take you to their bio. You'll see a little bit more information about what they do and what they publish. So they have a blog, they have social media, they have events, and then at the bottom, you'll see that they have contacts as well. So if you're still not sold or you have some questions on the kind of stuff that they do, you can actually email the leaders of that group just to get a better idea of what they do, and they'll always be happy to hear from you. Our chapter leaders and committee leaders are great, and they love talking about their groups. So in the top right, you'll see join group. That's one way to go ahead and get on their notifications list. But if we go back out, you can also join group here down at the left-hand corner. All right. That is our groups. We're going to take a look at one last thing on our profiles, and that's going to be how to tell if your membership is set up for auto renewal and when your renewal date is. So in the top right, you'll see your name and then a little arrow. We're going to click on invoices, and then that'll go ahead and take us to this payments and history tab. So if you have any open invoices, those will show up here. If you've registered for any events, those will show up here. So you'll see I'm registered for our summer convention in August, our annual convention. And you'll also see virtual events as well. They'll also be here. The ballpark figures, the women in baseball conference. I can print off any invoices that I might have had with those events, and I can get date reminders as well. Okay. That is it for, oh, I'm going to keep going over. Sorry. Membership. Here is where you would see your membership type and when your membership expires. You'll also be able to tell if you're set up for auto renewal on this membership tab. If you see an open awaiting auto bill invoice, that's your auto renewal bill for your next cycle. There will be a credit card icon to the left of that open awaiting auto bill title, and that's how you update any payment information. If you need to change your credit card, you can do that there. And then lastly, the donation history. If you've ever made a donation to SABR, that will show up here, and you can get your invoice for your records here as well. All right, now we're done with our profile. I'm gonna go back out to the homepage, back to sabr.org, and show you one last thing. So part of your member benefits is the This Week in SABR newsletter. You get it every Friday to your email. If you're not receiving that, please let one of us know so we can look into that for you. It's basically going to send you just a wrap up of the week's events, any headlines that we have, any event announcements or publication announcements, or call for papers. Those are going to be in that newsletter. If you are not receiving them to your inbox, or you misplaced it in your email or accidentally deleted it, they will always be on the website under this latest news tab. So I've already clicked on it, and then if we go ahead and scroll down, you'll see This Week in SABR newsletter. All of our previous editions are going to be here as well, or you can click on View All Issues if you want to go back further and read any previous headlines from SABR. So let me go ahead and click on this. This was last week's edition. So you'll see we announced registration for our convention and some of our guests that are going to be there. Our analytics conference is coming up. So we've been featuring some of those panels. It was recently SABR Day. Maybe some of you attended some events. So there's some pictures of that on there. Basically, any of our headlines from the previous week you'll find in here. Keep scrolling. New stories were published. There's our latest publication that Bill showed you earlier. And then we also have new members as well. So your name has been in This Week in SABR. You can go through those previous editions and find that as well. So that is it for my side. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back over to Scott Carter.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jessica. I saw that Charlie Montoya, former Blue Jays manager, was at one of our newest bios. And I worked closely with Charlie for many years in Durham, North Carolina. So I'm going to read that as soon as we're done. Like I said, my name is Scott Carter. I'm the Executive Vice President for SABR. And I'm going to show you a few more of your benefits, some of the more popular benefits that our veteran members enjoy. So we'll share those with you. I tend to talk fast, so we'll have some time at the end for questions. So, and if we don't get time for questions, like Jessica said, feel free to email us at any time. Myself, Jessica, Ken from our staff, any of our board members or chapter leaders are always very, very happy to help. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going. Okay. Should be all able to see that now, correct? Okay, great. So I'm going to start with SABR events. Now, Jessica talked about a few of these that were been highlighted in the newsletter. That's because we've got a lot of events coming up. So if you click on this events page right here, that's a good place to start. Now, our main events page is going to do two things. One, it's going to show you our national events that are coming up that you can register through the SABR headquarters here in Phoenix. And it will also show you local events taking place at the chapter level across the country. So we'll talk about some of these and highlight some of our bigger events. And the reason I like to do this is because it really highlights the breadth and depth of study when it comes to SABR, that our members are interested in everything under the baseball sun. Starting with the analytics conference, which is one of my favorite events, which is actually happening in 3 weeks. That'll be here in Phoenix. So that's coming down the barrel real fast. But the analytics conference, great event that happens in Phoenix every year. You'll see the next event is our 19th Century Baseball Conference. That takes place in Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame every year, and that's in April. So you can see right here, just right at the top, we've got two events, one talking about the origins of baseball in the 1800s, and then the analytics conference, which is talking about the current state and future state of the game and how it's being measured in front office baseball circles now. Scrolling down, a few more great events to highlight. The Jerry Malloy Negro League Conference is the only symposium dedicated to the history of Black baseball in the country. That'll actually also be in Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame this year. Very excited to see that event go to Cooperstown. And then down at the bottom, you see the Women in Baseball Conference. So the Negro Leagues Conference, Women in Baseball Conference, 19th Century Committee, and the Analytics Conference really kind of run the gamut of study when you're talking about baseball events. And then finally, the big one, the one that I wanted to highlight last, is our annual convention. It'll be our 52nd annual convention this summer, August 7th through 11th in Minneapolis. So Mike, I wrote down your name because you're now in the Twin Cities, so you don't have an excuse, so we'll have to see you there. We just opened registration this week. It's open to all baseball fans, but SABR members do get a big discount. The best way to describe the annual convention is a 5-day wall-to-wall baseball extravaganza. You're going to meet fellow SABR members, some of the most passionate baseball fans on the planet. We have research presentations, panels. We're going to go see a Twins game. We're going to go see a St. Paul Saints game. We're going to field tours of Target Field. And perhaps maybe most exciting for the most ever at a SABR convention, the Twins are gracious enough to supply us with 4 Hall of Famers to come speak to us at SABR 52. So a lot of exciting stuff still to come about convention, but if you're interested, this is a great event, a lot of fun, and wonderful place to make new baseball friends. So check that out if you're interested in joining us in the Twin Cities. Down at the bottom, you'll see a Google Events calendar that lists all of our local events down to the chapter level. So you can see tonight, we've got a lot of events going on tonight. Georgia, Jessica, you're missing your chapter meeting to do this. Central Virginia, South Carolina, the Bay Area is having a meeting. So this is a great place to look here. You can always click on these events and they'll give you more information. Most of our chapters are still doing a combination of in-person and virtual meetings. So every once in a while, you'll see something in the newsletter that says maybe the Bay Area, California chapter has a cool guest and it's a virtual meeting. You can join that as a SABR member. And like Jessica said, you can join as many chapters as you like. I would recommend doing that so you make sure that you receive notifications from that chapter, so you know when they've got a great guest that you're interested in, and you know how to sign up for those virtual meetings, even if you're on the other side of the country. So that's the events page. We're going to scroll back up, head back to the home page. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the SABR Digital Library. And Bill Nallen, our board member on tonight's call, mentioned this, but I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper. On the main page here, you'll see this publications link. Just go ahead and click that. And this is going to take you to our digital library page. So every year, SABR publishes about 8 to 10 books, depending on the year. We're up close to our 100th book in the SABR Digital Library, something that we're incredibly proud of. All of these books are put together by SABR members, contributions by SABR members. We'll talk about how to get involved in a little bit, but again, it's something we're incredibly proud of. And as a SABR member, this is one of your biggest benefits. Every single book that we put out, every SABR member can download that book as an electronic version, absolutely free. We would charge $9.95 or $9.99 to a non-member to download one of our books. So like I said, there's almost 100 books in the collection at this point. So you're talking over $900, close to $1,000 in value if you downloaded every single book that we have. I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. You see our newest book is One Win Wonders, a companion book to our book we did a couple of years ago called One Hit Wonders. And down at the bottom, you'll see this link that says SABR members get this ebook for free. You click on this link, make sure you're signed in your account, which Jessica showed you how to do earlier. And then it will take you to a checkout process, and you could select your PDF or Kindle format, whatever you prefer. And then you would get an email with that file so you can start reading right away. If you're interested in buying a paperback version of any of our books, you get a 50% discount off retail, and you can do that down here at this link right here. Scroll down a little bit more, you'll see these are our last 10 books. I like to highlight just the breadth of the books that we're doing. So really covering all eras, different teams, stadiums. We've got some fantastic books on the major leagues, some fantastic books that we put out recently on Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson, books diving into Canadian baseball, Dominicans in the major leagues. So click this load more. You can go through all these books. Encourage you to find something that interests you and start reading. A lot of fun. Down at the bottom, you're going to see this link say get involved. Now, we always like to encourage folks, if you are interested in doing baseball research, if you're interested in writing about baseball, you've come to the right place. Not every SABR member, and I'd say the vast majority of SABR members are not interested in doing their own writing. They're just interested in consuming the great research and great writing that other SABR members have done. I count myself in that camp. But if you see something that you were interested in getting involved in, there's links on the bottom here about how to do so. Every once in a while in the newsletter, we'll put out a call for help on a given topic. For instance, last year we're getting ready to put out a book on Dodger Stadium, and Bill put out a note that said, hey, we're looking for contributors to help us with stories about Dodger Stadium. And if you had, a particular game that you went to, or something that's particularly you're fond of, you could contact him and say, here, I'd like to get involved. How can I contribute? We have a pretty robust editorial process. We guide people along the way, especially new researchers who are looking to figure out how to get involved. So, like I said, if you're interested, check this stuff out. Bill's always a great resource if you're interested in getting involved. But like I said, if you just like to read this stuff and talk about it, you're also in the right place. So that's our digital library. And we're going to go back out to the little page, and we're going to talk about the SABR research collection. Now, when I say the research collection, what I mean is everything that you can possibly search on the SABR website that is going to give you all of the fantastic research that's been done by SABR over the past 52 years of our existence. A great place to start is this search bar right here on the homepage. This is going to return everything that we have on a given topic that is publicly available. So for instance, let's just type in Fernando Valenzuela. And we're going to see what kind of results get returned for Fernando. Just as an example, I like to give a different Dodger every time I do this. So you'll see that the first result is Fernando's biography written by SABR. We'll get into SABR bios just in a second. Game stories that they included. Rucker Archives. SABR maintains one of the largest baseball image collections in North America called the SABR Rucker Archives. And you can search these photos here. Many of these images never seen before. And they're available to SABR members to check out here. But you can see that we've got 5 pages of results for Fernando Valenzuela. So there's going to be articles, lots of great stuff. You can do an advanced search here by searching for journal articles. Maybe just want to look for game stories or Rucker archive photos. You can do that here with this advanced search. Let's go back out. And if you wanted to break things into categories or get a little bit more in depth, you can click on the research collection link here. And that's going to break things into category and make it a little bit more searchable. Figure out where you're going if you just don't want to search. Go about that way, which you can see we've got a big button here for the Rucker Archive. If you wanted to look for particular images, that's a great place to start searching. The Baseball Research Journal, which is SABR's flagship publication, which comes out once in the spring and once in the fall. You can click on this. Every single SABR member gets this electronically as part of your membership dues. But if you were interested in getting a paperback copy of the Baseball Research Journal, there's a $7 subscription fee for each issue. You can find that here. And then you get mailed a copy in the spring and the fall if you prefer that over the free electronic version. So that's the BRJ, the Rucker Archive. I do want to call attention to the Games Project and the Bio Project. Both two are most popular projects and a space that gives a lot of people the chance to get involved. Also derives a ton of web traffic from non-SABR members, just people just Googling baseball folks, or if something memorable happens in baseball, or every time a Hall of Famer passes away, there's a ton of hits on the website because people are looking to SABR for the information that we have on a particular player. These are all Games Project and Bio Projects are similar in scope. They're all contributed by SABR members. So let's click on the Bio Project to give you an idea of what you're going to see here. This is a lot of fun because if you just wanted news bios. Oh, there's Charlie Montoya, my guy. You want to click on news bios, it'll pop up and give you random bios if you want to just dive into some random bios, or categories. So you could look at, I want to see MVPs, bios on MVPs, and that's going to pull up every most valuable player with a biography. And then you'll be able to click on Save by the Blue, and you'll see how extensive the biographies are. Written by SABR member Rich Cruiser. And you see, if you scroll down, this is a lot more than just his playing career. It's really his entire life's biography. And again, these are all written by SABR members. So if you ever come across a biography that hasn't been written yet, because they haven't all been written yet, we're over 6,000 and counting. But if you find somebody, maybe a family member or somebody that an acquaintance or somebody you grew up watching that doesn't have a bio written and you want to do it, I'll show you how to find out how you can get involved. Back on this main biography page, down at the bottom, you'll see this frequently asked questions link. Click on that. And it is going to show you who to get in touch with, what questions to ask, and what you're going to need to do. So again, great place to get involved if you want to get involved. And if you don't, if you're more comfortable just perusing and reading, then that's fine too. There's something for everybody. If you go back out to the Games Project, again, similar in scope, and instead of biographies, these are SABR member stories about particular games throughout baseball history. And then down at the bottom, you can see that there's some frequently asked questions link as well. So if there's a particular game you went to that was memorable but it hasn't been written about, that's how you would get involved if you wanted to do that as well. Okay. Let's see what's next. All right. So those are some great publicly available resources. The next thing we're going to talk about are research resources that are available only to SABR members. So you have to be logged in to access this material as part of your membership. So we're going to click this member login screen that Jessica showed you earlier. And you're going to come to this members hub. Jessica showed you the home function, which is more of a catch-all, frequently asked questions just about your membership. You know, if you're trying to figure out who to contact, what to do, look for, frequently asked questions about your membership, that's a great place to do that. This hub in this module in the middle is event registration. You can check to see. Sometimes people forget if they registered for an event or they're just looking at an easy place to find all the open events. You can do that. But we're tonight going to focus on this research resources module, which is over here on the right. Click on the Learn More button. If you are not signed in, it will ask you to sign in before you get to this piece. And again, if you ever forget your login credentials, we are happy to help retrieve those for you. And I want to call your attention, these first three modules right here, because these are our most popular members-only research resources. The paper record is the entirety of the sporting news archives, which are included in your SABR membership. Next is ProQuest Historical Block Newspapers collection, which we just added last summer. And then finally, the newspapers.com World Collection archives. These all would be pretty penny if you try to get them on your own. They are all included in your SABR membership. I'm going to show you how to search the sporting news just as an example. But again, these are all great resources. The Historical Black Newspapers has been really popular with Negro Leagues researchers because obviously you can go back and search for given stories coming from the African American perspective of their local papers. And the newspapers.com World Collection is regional and local papers from around North America that you can search for whatever you're looking for. But paper record against sporting news archives, something I loved to read as a kid. Click on that button. It's a little bit tricky to get there, so I'll make sure I show you. You'll go down to Missouri. You see that the sporting news was published at St. Louis, so click that. And you just set your search term. So they started publishing in 1886, which is not something I'm interested in searching. So we're going to go to, let's see, when I was a youth, and let's say we're going to go 1995, and we are going to search for Eric Karros. Oh, I actually searched for Eric. Fantastic Dodgers first baseman. And it's going to pull all entries of Eric Karros over a 5-year span, starting in 1995. Come on, computer, think. So see here we have 374 hits. We'll just click on one of these at random just to show you what it looks like. It's a scan of the actual paper, but it will highlight all, so you know exactly what you're looking for. So let's scroll down, and we see that Eric Karros had a great quote where he said, "You're not going to win too many games scoring 0 runs." Great quote, BK. Good job. So that's the paper record. Let's back out. Get back into that members of the research resources page. If you scroll down, there's going to be a ton more databases for you to check out at your leisure. Again, more information that you can probably ever get to the bottom of, but I like to see you try if you're interested. Lots of databases, archives that you can dive into. Again, these are all available just to members. So the Baseball Index is a bibliography of our attempt to create a citations for every single thing ever written about baseball. The SABR defensive index calculations, these are great to check out. SABR has a proprietary metric that helps Raleigh select gold glove winners every year. So you can kind of go back and look at how those have been scored. We have guides for how to do sabermetric research, how to do regular baseball research. These are great, available to members if you're interested in getting involved. But again, lots of things to check out if you just want to dive into all this available from your new membership. Okay, I'm gonna close out that. We're gonna go back to the SABR homepage. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is the SABR Analytics certification. Now, I know that many of you are aligned, a lot of people outside of SABR who, when they hear about SABR, they automatically associate it with sabermetrics. And you guys are the STEM nerds, right? I mean, how many times I hear that week when I tell somebody what I do? Now, there's certainly a big component of SABR that focuses on data and analytics. Certainly the student and young professional population within our organization, that's what they're focused on as it relates to career development. But as you can see from the rest of this meeting tonight, SABR is much more a historical society with a lot of different focuses and a lot of different interests, and analytics is just one piece of that. And if it's something that you're excited about, we encourage you to dive in. If you want to learn more, we have ways to do that, so it's not as scary or as intimidating as it may be to a lot of people when they hear buzzwords and new stats they don't know. So for that, we created an online certification curriculum, which is an on-demand classroom that you can learn more about analytics at your own leisure. So you see here we just released our third level. But if you click learn more, that's going to take you to the analytics certification homepage. We have 3 courses available. The first course is level 1, conversational analytics and critical thinking in baseball. That's really our introductory course. So again, general baseball fans, if you just want to learn more about analytics, learn some more of these terms, that's a great place to start. We get a lot of coaches, a lot of scouts, a lot of broadcasters that take this course. Members get a great discount, $55 off what you'd be paying as a non-member. They're fantastic to watch. They've got great animations. So it's a fun watch. It's not just sitting there and just staring at a screen. Level 2, advanced analytics in baseball, more in depth, and then down 3, which is introduction to baseball programming, which is already above my skis. So I kind of checked out right there as my eyes start glossing over. As we start talking about programming as it relates to data analytics. So that's the analytics certification. I'm going to stop my screen share. It's quarter of the top of the hour. I know we covered a lot of information. But again, I want to reiterate that if you ever have any questions, we are here to help. We want to help you find your people. So if there's a given interest of research or things that you want to connect with people on and you don't really know how to do it, we're the people to ask. We're happy to help. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hands. We're happy to answer them. But again, you can email us at any time. You're not going to miss your chance to ask a question if you don't do it tonight. So. Anybody? Going once. Oh, go ahead, John. You're muted. Hold on, John. You're unmuted, so you got him. Hit that unmute button, John, so we can hear you ask your question.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Okay. I joined in December, and I've been going through the sporting news, and
sure.
I've noticed that after I'm on for about 30 or 40 minutes, it seems to lock down, and I have to then go out of it and re-enter, log in again and go on to the sporting news. Is that common, or am I doing something wrong? Or
I've not heard that, but then again, I don't I don't stay on it that long, so
That's
go ahead,
not at
Bill.
all common. I spend a fair amount of time on there. It might be something to ask Jacob Pomrenke about. I can take a note and ask him and see if he can try to track down the problem for you.
Okay.
Cool. Zach, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was just wondering about, because I signed up for the Phoenix conference. I was wondering if like the agenda for that was gonna come out, like the exact agenda of like times and whatnot. Just because I know like the Suns are in town, like in the. I'm like
Yeah.
a Boston fan, so like I potentially want to see if I can get like a Suns Celtics ticket or something. Or
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, one, we'll be excited to see you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll all be there. We're putting the finishing touches on the schedule now, so I would expect that that's going to be released on Monday. But as a general rule of thumb, we'll be done by 5:30 on Friday and Saturday, so you'll have plenty of time to go get to a Suns game if you'd like. Any other questions?
Tony's got his hand raised.
Go ahead, Tony.
With the annual convention, it's starting on the 7th.
Correct.
What time does that start? Do you need to fly the 6th, or is the 7th fine to fly?
It's really up to you. The main thing that we've got going on the Wednesday the 7th is we have a welcome reception in the early evening. So there's not a lot of programming earlier in the day. So most folks do come in Wednesday morning for that.
Okay.
And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are packed wall to wall with programming, and then Sunday is a travel day. Everybody gets out of there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, hi. I will occasionally write a short essay that probably doesn't rise to the level of publications in the official journals. I wonder if there's some sort of blog thing that one can post. I write them and my son reads them, and he's my audience. And I think I'd like to see if one could find others who might be interested.
Yeah, a good place to maybe check would be your local chapter, because most of our local chapters have newsletters, and they often publish stories and more smaller scale research efforts from their members versus a journal article or one of our books, which is going to be more long form.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jake says he'll read them, Larry.
I'll write down your name.
Mets fans sticking together.
We have to stick together. There's not many of us left.
All right, folks. Well, unless anybody else has any questions, we'll call it a night. We'll see you out there in the SABR-verse. Feel free to reach out, but it sounds like we're going to see a few of you in Phoenix for the analytics conference. Sounds like a couple of you are interested in joining us in Minneapolis. So we'd love to meet you. Make sure you say hi if you're going to one of those events, and please keep in touch. And thanks for joining us tonight, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.